It's decision day for the NBA. The league's board of governors are scheduled to vote on Adam Silver's 22-team return to play plan during a conference call that is scheduled for 12:30 Eastern time. And let me bring in my insider, Brian Windhorst, to talk about this. Windy, what messaging is the commissioner sending as he talks to teams and players around the league trying to bring all of this back?
Yeah, he definitely spent part of yesterday, and I assume part of today, trying to rally the troops a little bit. While we've heard from a lot of players that there is momentum and that they want to play, he really wants to communicate directly to the teams and to the players' union itself what plans that they have to keep everybody safe. And so that's what he spent time doing on conference calls. And you know, I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are counting down the days until July. Players are going to run back into the gym, but that's not everybody. There's a number of teams that are outside the playoffs right now that are looking at having a daunting task to fight their way in. He wants them to arrive in Orlando with a mindset that they can do it. And that's a big part of what he's got to talk about in the days ahead.
So what are the next steps here?
Well, one of the big things is they have to come up with a protocol. And I know that's not something that maybe a lot of fans would be excited about, but it's going to be a big document. My guess is it's going to be about that thick, about what it's going to be like in Orlando. When you get your test every single day, are you going to get the test that they go up here into your forehead where they do the thing, or is there going to be a different type of test? What happens if you have to leave the bubble to get an MRI, or because somebody in your family has a medical issue? Where are you going to stay? What are you going to be allowed to do? Where are you going to be allowed to eat? Things like that. Those are all details that the players are really going to want to know. How long do you have to quarantine? When you want to bring your family in, when can they do that? Will they have to quarantine? There's so many different layers that they have to go through. And they've been working on it, Greeny. They've been working on it for weeks. But when I talked to the league yesterday, they made it clear, look, we don't have all the answers right now. There's still a lot of work to do in the next few weeks.
No question. So there are really two sides to this return. There are two pieces to it, if you will. There's all of this about getting everyone back as safely as is possible. And then there's what they'll actually do when they get there. So what do you think of the plans as we know them for what this will be when they all return and start playing again?
Yeah, well, I think what we're going to see is two different sites in Walt Disney World where games are played. So you could have games overlapping or even simultaneous. And I think we're basically going to have all-day basketball. I think this is going to take 5 or 6 games a day. I think we're going to have all-day basketball throughout most of August. And then I think when the playoffs start, you may even see an NCAA-style situation where you have afternoon playoff games or late afternoon playoff games. But I also think that the schedule is going to be really big, Greeny. Fans are going to want to know what the schedule is. And from people at the league I've talked to, the schedule is going to follow roughly as a guide what the teams had left. But it's not going to work because obviously 8 teams have been eliminated, most of them in the East. So, you know, for example, the Clippers were scheduled to play the Nets twice. They hadn't played them yet. Are they going to still play them twice? I don't know. But we could see New Orleans play Sacramento twice, play Memphis twice. Those were games that were on the books that could very much result in who gets that number 8 seed.
Yeah, and I saw in your notes, and I made the comment this morning, this is not a time to let perfect be the enemy of good. They have to do the best they can under impossible circumstances, right?
Yeah, look, some fans are going to see this, and they're going to say, this is unfair. A, B, C, D, E, F, G is against our team or for their team. Yeah, it is. This is an unfair, imperfect situation, and everybody's just going to have to deal with it. And especially when the players get some of these details, they're not going to be able to probably stay at the hotel that they want. They may not get the room that they want. They may not get the treatment that they're used to. They may have to change their own sheets, Greeny, to be honest with you. That's just the way it's going to have to be. This is going to be one long slog for the betterment of the game and for the fans. And we're going to have to be reminded of that, those of us in the league.
But there isn't any question in your mind it's coming, right? They are full steam ahead. They will vote for that today, and this will be on the way.
Yeah, I'm not saying all 30 teams are going to be happy, but it's going to pass today. There is a strong of that. And unlike in baseball or even the MLS where they had some labor strife, the expectation, and I want to qualify that because it's sensitive. The expectation is that the union is prepared to sign off on this and not be any sort of stumbling block. But that hasn't officially been announced yet. But he's been keeping the union abreast of this. They've been part of this process along the way. And that should enable a ratification by the union so that we can all move forward to beginning the process of playing.